our lesson of today, we're going to be speaking about a famous person, a famous writer, right? Okay. Today's lesson is going to be unit number 7, which is called Passions and Fashions. And we're going to be speaking about the passions that people have and also the fashions. Sometimes people are very passionate about things, and we use a specific kind of language when we are very passionate about something, right? And when we speak about fashions as well. But specifically today, we're going to be working on 3 specific topics: present perfect simple, present perfect continuous, and present perfect passive, right? These are the contents for today. And in relation to the vocabulary, we're going to be speaking about things I'm passionate about, and also in relation to everyday English, making the right noises, right? These are the main contents for today's lesson, and we're going to be speaking about that today. All right. In some moment of the class or projects class, we're going to speak about things that you have never done, right? And for example, we have here 3 specific examples in relation to the language that we use when we refer to something that we have never done. For example, a person says, I've never been to a baseball game. And the reaction of the other person is, me neither, right? In this case, the other person is in agreement with the first one. Both of them have never been to a baseball game. So it's like a formula, right? I never been to a baseball game. And the reaction is, me neither. I hate baseball. Notice that the pronunciation of this word is like in American English, we say neither, but in the United Kingdom, they say neither, right? I prefer neither, but you can say neither or neither. Both are correct. Don't worry about that, right? That's the pronunciation of that word. Another example is, I've never had a pet. And the reaction is, I had. In this case, they are not in agreement, okay? When one person had never had a pet, but the other has had a pet, right? I had 2 dogs and a cat. And the last one, the last example is, I've never read a Harry Potter book. And the other one is like surprised and says, really? I read them all, right? So we're going to work on these 3 types of reactions a little bit later, right? But the moment is for you to know what the topic is going to be about today. We're going to focus specifically on the present perfect and the perfect tenses, right? That is the focus of our lesson, and how we can react to that person. Now I need your cooperation. Can you tell me who this person is? Do you know who this person is? By the way, I cannot read, so if you can speak a little bit, can you tell me if you know who this lady is?
She's
Yes?
J.K. Rowling.
Yes, she's J.K. Rowling. She's very famous, right? Why is she famous for?
Harry Potter.
Yes, I think that she has written a lot of books about Harry Potter, right? Actually, I'm not very fond of reading those kinds of books, but I know that many people like Harry Potter books, and there are also some films, right? Do you?
I don't.
Yeah. Have you ever read one of her books? One of Harry Potter books?
Yes.
All of them or some of them?
No, I don't like them.
Most of them.
All right. And you know that there are some films about the books as well. I don't have seen any of those films, but I most people like the Harry Potter's film. But in my case, I don't like them. I'm more realistic. But I think that most young people and teenagers and young adults like or enjoyed reading Potter's book, right? Um, do you know that she had a problem? I think this week there was a piece of news about her. Do you know what problem has she had? She received a prize, an important prize, right? And I don't know whether you know what happened with her. Have you got any idea? Probably you don't know, but if you don't know,
No.
we can go straight to Google and see what's going on. We're not going to read all of it. Yeah,
I heard about comments about she
yeah,
and about homophobic comments.
yes, you're right. This is
Transphobic,
what,
actually.
yes,
Yeah.
transphobic comments. I think that she had to do something, or she did something. And here we can find the news. Uh, J.K. Rowling returns award after Kerry Kennedy criticism. She spoke probably. I haven't read the news in detail, but on Twitter I read that she gave back her award because of the comments that she had made in relation to transgender. Right? J.K. Rowling has said she's giving back an award associated with the U.S. Kennedy family after being criticized for her views on gender and trans issues. It's a little bit disappointed. Probably not for me, I don't care, but probably for the followers, the fans, uh, it's a little bit disappointing that she had made
Very
those
disappointing.
types of, yes, transphobic comments. I don't agree with that, and I think that many people have felt disappointed with those types of comments. And you know that surprisingly, we're going to be speaking about her today. And it is a bit disappointing anyway, but uh, I hope she um, says I'm sorry or something because she's an important person, and many people um, sorry, and many people follow her, right? And she's like a leader. So I felt disappointed when that. Okay, here we can see that she has written a lot of books. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Seven books until 2007. I don't know whether she has written more books than that because remember that this book is a little bit old and outdated. Do you know if she has written more books than that or not?
I think,
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
she wrote Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and she has also wrote this book about Quidditch, which is a sport in the Harry Potter films and books.
So it means that she has written two more books, right?
She has another book that it's not Harry Potter related. I don't know
Ah,
the name in English, but in Spanish is Una vacante imprevista.
right. So it's another type of novel in this case.
Yes.
Have you read it?
No.
Not yet.
No, I don't like her.
You don't like her. Me neither. Oh, I don't know. I don't like her books. Not because she wrote the book. It's just because I don't like those type of books because I prefer some more realistic books. But anyway, It's just my opinion. Okay, now that we have read about or have spoken a little bit that important author, J.K. Rowling, so we're going to um, do an exercise, a very, very important exercise in which we're going to use some grammar points. And I want you to do the following thing. This information or this exercise is on Educa, all right, on the worksheet that I told you to download a moment ago. All right, here, complete the questions about J.K. Rowling. Use did, was, has, or have. Okay, we can do it together if you want. So we can go a little bit faster as the time is a little bit tight. Okay, can you help me? I need your collaboration, right? And at the same time, you can practice your English as well. Okay, let's get started with number one. Where and when she born? Which word do you think we should write here?
Was.
Did.
Was.
All right.
Or not?
Here we have two how to say answers. Was or did? We have to select just one.
Was.
Which one?
Was.
Yeah, it was. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult for us, for Spanish speakers, because we say I born instead of I was born, right? Because of the Spanish background. In Spanish, we say yo nací, I born. No, I was born. So in this case, where and when was she born? Right, very good. Let's continue then with the second one. When she write her first story, what it about?
Did.
When what?
Did.
Did.
When did she
Was.
write the story? What was it?
Right. When did she write her story? Her first story? What? What?
Was.
What was?
Was.
Yes. What was it about? What was it about? Right. Very good. Number three. What's she doing when she had the idea for Harry Potter? What?
Was.
What was she doing? Yes. What was she doing when she had the idea of Harry Potter? Number four. Where she teach English? Number
Did.
four. Yes.
Did.
Where did she teach English? Excellent. Number five. When the first Harry Potter published, the first Harry Potter book published?
Was.
Was.
When? Yes. When
Was.
was the first Harry Potter published? Very good. Number six. How long she been writing the books?
Has she
Has.
Yes, very good. Yes. How long has she been writing the books? Her writing. I want you to pay attention a little bit. This parenthesis, okay? Here we have the word been, and there is a difference in pronunciation in this word between American English and British English. In American English, they say been, right? Been. But in the United Kingdom, they say been. Can you notice? Can you tell the difference? Been, American. Been is British. So British, for the British, been estado is similar to poroto, been. But in America, they say bin, similar to basurero, bin, right? So for you to notice, there is a little bit difference between American and British pronunciation. But anyway, you can decide to say bin or bin. It's your decision, right? Both are correct. It's just a parenthesis. Okay, I'm going to close the parenthesis and go straight to number 7. How many she written?
Has.
Has she written? Right. Number 8. How many children she had?
Did?
Have, did,
All
I
right.
don't know.
Here we have two answers as well. Did or has. Which one do you think is correct? Can we say did or can we say has? What do you think? If I say did, is it correct or
Did.
not? How
No.
many children
Eh,
did she had?
No, that verb is in past.
Yes, right. Remember
okay.
that this is not in past, right? This is past participle, right? So
Yes.
here we cannot say did because how many children did she have or how many children has she had, right? So in this case, the correct answer would be has, right? Have. All right, thank you very much. Number 9. How many books been sold?
How many books have been
Have been
sold?
sold, right? Have been sold, right? Have been sold. Which books been made into movies? Which
Have.
book,
Have.
yes, which book have been made into movies? Notice that we have the word movies because this book is from American English, but in the United Kingdom they say films, right? So movies is more American oriented, films more British oriented. How much money she made?
Has.
Did.
All right,
Has.
here we have
How much
here we
money?
have to pay attention, yes, because we cannot say did because the verb is here in past participle. So we can say how much money has she
Yeah.
made? All right. And finally, number 12. How many authors became or become, not became, become billionaires?
Have.
Yes. How many authors have become billionaires? All right. Thank you very much for your participation. Now we're going to move straight to the next activity. We're going to continue with the same activity and we're going to go back a little bit later because we have to read something. We're going to read like a short story, like the biography of J.K. Rowling, author and billionaire. And for that, I have here just one second. I want to go to the YouTube so you can hear immediately the audio, right? I'm going to stay here. I upload it to YouTube because it's much easier. Okay, we're going to read this, but at the same time, we have to answer a question. What do you think J.K. Rowling or J.K. stands for? Do you know what's the meaning of for? Stand for. Stand for in Spanish es representa, significa. ¿Qué representan esa letra? Stand for, right? It's a phrasal verb. Stand for. What does JK stand for? Let's read and then we're going to answer that specific question. Okay, listen and read.
Unit 7, Track 25. Read and listen about J.K. Rowling.
Joanne Kathleen Rowling, author of the best-selling Harry Potter series of books, was born in 1965 near Bristol, England. Her birthday, July 31st, is the same as her famous hero, Harry Potter. Joanne did well in school. Her favorite subjects were English and foreign languages, and she studied French in school. She graduated in 1986 and over the next few years had a variety of jobs. However, her passion was writing. She had written her first story, Rabbit, about a rabbit with measles, at age 6. She started writing the first Harry Potter book in 1990. The idea for Harry, a lonely 11-year-old orphan who was actually a wizard, came to Rowling while she was traveling by train between Manchester and London. Although she left England a short time after that to teach English in Portugal, she continued to write Harry's story. She returned to Britain in 1993 and settled in Scotland. It was a difficult time. She was out of work and depressed, but finally completed her first book, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. It was published in Britain in 1997 and quickly became a hit with both children and adults. J.K.R. has been writing Harry Potter books for nearly 20 years. She writes in longhand, and each book takes 1 year to complete. She has now completed the series of 7 Harry Potter books. The last book, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, came out in July 2007. Her books have won numerous awards, including Children's Book of the Year. She married Dr. Neil Murray in 2001. She has had 3 children, a boy, David, and 2 girls, Mackenzie and Jessica. The books have been translated into over 60 languages, and over 300 million copies have been sold worldwide. The first 6 books have been made into movies. She has become the highest-earning woman in Britain, richer than the Queen. She has made over £600 million, more than $1 billion. This makes her the first person ever to have become a billionaire from writing books.
All right. I found that there were some mistakes in the transcription. Probably I wrote it very quickly, and but I'm sorry for that, right? In case you realized. Okay, so this is the story of J.K. Rowling, and I would like to tell you what does the letters J.K. stand for. Can you tell me? What do you think J and K means or stand for?
Joanne,
Start of-
Kathleen.
Yes, you're right. Those letters stand for her name, right? For first and middle name, John Kathleen, right? This is a very interesting story because she had several things. She has to go through several events in order to start writing, and she is a famous and rich person, right? Richer than the Queen, she says. Okay, now we're going to go back to the first activity, and I want you to answer these questions in relation to the reading that we have just read, right? Where and when was she born? Can you just write your answers very quickly, and then we're going to check your answers, okay? I'm going to just 2 minutes for you to answer these questions on your own, right? Do it on your own. And then we're going to check. Provide very short answers. Do not very elaborate answers. Just short answers. All right, let's see. Let's see what you have answered. Let's get started with question number 1. Where and when was she born? Can you tell me? Where and when was she born? I don't have any ideas. Can you tell me where was she born?
She was born in Bristol.
In Bristol, right. In Bristol. Where is it, Bristol? Do you know where it is?
Specifically or just the country?
Country.
England.
Yes, you're right. She was born in Bristol. I think near Bristol, right? In the United Kingdom, right? All right. Thank you very much. Then we're going to check in detail if your answers were correct or not. Okay. When did she write her first story and what was it about? When did she write her first story and what was it about?
In 1990.
Yes. And what was it about?
It was about a rabbit, but I don't remember the topic.
A rabbit with
Yeah.
measles, I think. You know what measles are?
No, really.
Sorry? Yes, it's when you have the, how you say, I don't know, the word in Spanish. Right?
Sarampion.
Sarampion, right. You have that's the word, sarampion. Very good. Okay. What was she doing when she had the idea for Harry Potter?
She was traveling
Yeah, she was traveling from where?
from Manchester to London by
Yes,
train.
yes, she was traveling from Manchester to London by train. Yes. All right. Where did she teach English? She was a teacher of English, I think.
Portugal.
In Portugal, right? When was the first Harry Potter book published? Do you remember or do you know? Well,
In 1997.
1997. All right. How long has she been writing the book?
For 20 years.
Yes, around 20 years. That's a lot of time. Yes. How many has she written? Until the moment of the story, I think there was like 7 or something.
7.
Yes, according to the book. Remember that this book is outdated, but there should be more than that, as you told me. How many children has she had?
3.
3.
3 children, right? How many books has been sold? A lot of books. I think that there are millions of books.
3 million copies.
3 millions. All right. Which books have been made into movies? I think all of them, or not? Am I wrong?
All of them, I think.
All right. How much money has she made? A lot of money.
600 billion?
Oh, it's a lot of money, more than a teacher. And how many authors has become billionaires?
The text says that she was the first.
The first, yes, he was the first. Okay, I'm going to play the recording for you to listen to your and check your answers, right? Let's continue.
Track 26. Listen and check. 1,
Where and when was she born?
She was born near Bristol in England in 1965.
2,
When did she write her first story? What was it about?
She wrote her first story when she was 6. It was about a rabbit with measles.
3,
What was she doing when she had the idea for Harry Potter?
She was traveling by train between Manchester and London.
4,
Where did she teach English?
In Portugal.
5,
When was the first Harry Potter book published?
In 1997.
6,
How long has she been writing the books?
For nearly 20 years.
7,
How many has she written?
7,
8,
How many children has she had?
3,
9,
How many books have been sold?
over 300 million copies.
10,
Which books have been made into movies?
The first 6.
11,
How much money has she made?
She's made over 600 million pounds.
12,
How many authors have become billionaires?
Only one, her.
She was the only person who has made a lot of money, right? The only person who has made money from writing books. Not all of them make a lot of money. Thank you for your answers. They were all correct. And we're going now to move on to the grammar spot. We're going to focus on the the perfect tenses, right? And here we're going to see some sentences that were taken from the reading part, and we're going to see which types of tenses are they and why are they used. This is the first thing that we have to do. Okay, can you help me please with this short exercise? Let's see what tense it is. She lives in Scotland. Can you tell the tense?
Present simple?
Yes, that's present simple. And why do you think this present simple is used? She lives in Scotland. When do we use the present simple specifically? She lives in Scotland.
For a fact?
Yes, for a fact. For something which is true. Also, it's true until now, right? Something which is real, it's true, it's a fact. A fact is something which is real, right? Thank you very much. Now, let's move on to the second sentence. She lived in Portugal for 3 years. Which kind of tense is this?
Past
To
simple.
live past, right? Very good. And when do we use past simple?
Finish it action.
Yes, it's an action that has been has ended, right, in the past. So this is the main difference with this one. She's lived in Scotland since 1993. Which type of tense is this? Which tense is this sentence?
Present
Present
continuous?
continuous.
Present continuous. Are you sure? She's lived. Where do you see the continuous verb?
Oh, no. It's
That's the
Perfect.
present perfect.
Present
Yeah.
perfect. Right. It is present perfect.
perfect.
Present continuous. We would say she has been living or she's living, right? But in this case, is this contracted form is she has, right? But is constructed, means that is shortened. She's lived. In other words, she has lived in Scotland since 1993. When do we use this type of tense, present perfect? In particular, in this case,
When something starts in the past but continues in the present.
right? In this particular case, it relates to something that started some year ago, but it's still present. For example, in your case, you would say, I've studied English since probably, I don't know, 2015 or 16 or something, right? It is because you are studying English. You started learning English in the past, but you continue studying English so far, right? So that is when we use the present perfect tense, which started in the past and continues. The action continues until the present tense, the present days, right? And the last one, she's lived in England, Portugal, and Scotland. Which type of tense is this? She's lived in England, Portugal, and Scotland.
Past perfect.
Past perfect. Are you sure? Can you see there is a difference between the first and the second? Are they the same or different? She's lived in Scotland. She's lived in England. Are the same or is the tense the same or is the tense different? She's lived in Scotland. They are different. Do you think they are different? All right. Okay. The first is present perfect, right? And this one is present perfect as well, right? Can you see? She has lived in Scotland and she has lived in England. Both are present perfect, right? If this sentence were in past perfect, it would say she had lived or she'd lived.
Okay.
But in this case, this she has lived. Both are the same, right? So both are present perfect. But what's the difference between the first and the second? This one and the other one. The first one, she's lived in Scotland since. It means something that is started in the past and continues. The action continues until our days, right? But what happens with this one? When do we use the present perfect as well? When we refer to an experience, right, in the past, right? In this case, it's an experience. Probably the action does not continue until our days, like in this one, but it speaks only about an experience that happened in the past, right? That is the main difference. Okay. Question? Have you got any questions regarding this? It is clear that the present simple is, we use the present simple to refer to facts, right? In the present, right? The past simple is used to express actions in the past, and that's it. And the present perfect is used to speak about an idea that or an action that is started in the past and continues until our days, right? And it's also used to speak about some experience in the past without referring specifically to the date, all right? So it's completely different from this one, right? Okay, let's move on then to Number 2, which questions asks about the activity and which asks about the quantity? Let's see. How long has she been writing Harry Potter's book and how many has she written? Which one refers to the activity and which one refers to quantity? Let's see. How long has she been writing Harry Potter books? Is this question related to an activity or to quantity?
Activity.
An activity, right? An activity that has been done during a period of time, right? And obviously, the second one refers to quantity. How many books? How many books has she written? In this case, how many has she written, right? And the last one, these sentences sound unnatural in the active. Make them passive and find them in the text. We're not going to find them in the text. We're going just to change these sentences into the active and the passive form. People have translated her books into 60 languages. Can you change that sentence into passive? No, yes, passive form, right? Can you change them into?
Her books have been translated into 60 languages.
Languages, very good. And I'm going to rephrase, all right? Her books have been, we have to add the verb to be form, right? Have been translated into 60 languages. Very, very well. Now let's continue with the second one. People have sold 3 million copies of her books. Can you
3
change
million
it?
copies of her books have been sold.
Had been sold, right? And the last one, people had made 6 of the books into movies.
Six of the books have
okay.
been made into movies.
Yes, 6 of the books had been made into movies, right? Thank you very much for your collaboration. Okay, then and you can go, if you have the books, you can go to pages 71 and see the grammar reference, right? But we're going to save that for the next class, right? But if you want to go into more deep insight, you can consult that reference, right? And in order to finish the first lesson, we're going to finish with a formative evaluation, right? And the idea is this: look at the parts of sentences, which tenses are used, right, and why, and discuss the differences in meaning. And then there is a second one: underline the correct verb form. Let's get started with the first one. And with this, we're going to finish our lesson of today. The first one is, I lived in Seoul for 2 years. Which tense is this? I lived in Seoul for 2 years.
Past perfect.
Past perfect. Are you sure? Remember that past perfect? Past simple, right? Remember that for past perfect, we need the verb had, right? For example, for present perfect, I had lived. In this case, I lived. This is just past simple, right? Or simple past. All right. And the second one is, I've lived in Seoul for 2 years. Which tense is this? I lived in Seoul for 2 years. The first one is past simple, and the second one is, I lived in Seoul for 2 years. Which type of tense is this? I lived in Seoul for 2 years.
Past perfect.
Is past perfect. How can you tell that it is past perfect or present perfect? This is present perfect, right? How can you tell this is because yes, here, you're right. We can see we know immediately that this is present perfect. Can you see here that it says I lived, but here it says I've. In Spanish, yo he vivido, yo viví, yo he vivido. So the present perfect is yo he vivido, I've lived. All right. Can you tell me what is the difference in meaning between the first and the second? I lived in Seoul for 2 years. I've lived in Seoul for 2 years. There is a difference in meaning. All right. For example, in the first one, I'm going to help you a little bit with the first one. In the first one, I lived in Seoul for 2 years. It means that the person is not living in Seoul anymore. The person probably lived there for some years, and then that person returned to his or her country, right? So she's not living there anymore. In the second sentence, I lived in Seoul for 2 years. It means that the person started living in Seoul years ago and continues living in the same city, all right, until now. All right, it is like there is a continuity, right, in time. Okay, number 2, I work for an international company. And the tense, can you tell me what tense is this? I work for an international company.
Present simple.
Present simple. Very good. Very good. Excellent. I've worked for them since 2006. Which tense is this? I've worked. If you take a look at this specific word, I've worked.
Present perfect.
Present perfect.
Present perfect.
Yes.
Present
Yes.
perfect.
Present perfect. Very good. Because here we can see that we have the verb have, the auxiliary verb have. I've worked. Okay, the difference in meaning. I work for an international company. What does it mean? It means that the person goes to work every day, all right, in an international company. But I worked for them since, it means that that person, he or she, started working at that company, I don't know, 14 years ago, right? And continues working in the same company, right? So there is continuity. All right, number 3. How long have you been working in Tokyo, and how many countries have you worked in? The first one, which kind of tense is this? Have you been working in Tokyo?
Present perfect continuous.
Present continuous.
Yes, right. It's present perfect continuous because we can see here the ing form. How long have you been working in Tokyo? And the second one, how many countries have you worked in? Which kind of sentences or tenses? Present perfect. Very good. All right. Remember that we have to bear in mind. Yes?
And if it is present continuous, what it changes?
Yes, very good question. For example, in present continuous, how long are you working? Right? Present continuous is verb to be. How long are you working here in Tokyo? No, I don't know. All right. You don't say have. You don't have to use have. You have to say are you. For example, are you studying mathematics? That is present continuous.
Oh, okay.
Yes, right. In present continuous, we say have you been working, right? Okay. And the difference in meaning, how long have you been working in Tokyo? It means that there is continuity. And in the second question, it means that experience, all right? An experience that started in the past, right? Okay. Have you ever met anyone famous? And did you meet anyone famous at the party? And the first one, I'm going to go a little bit faster, is present perfect, while the second one is past simple, right? The verb is an infinitive, and we are using the auxiliary did, All right, so the first one is present perfect, and the second one is past simple, right? And then you can see what the difference in meaning is. The first one is, have you ever met an experience in the past, right? An experience, probably there is not a specific time. And in the second one, there is a specific time at the party. It is very important that you understand this. When we speak about present perfect, we don't care too much about the time, the specific time. But when we use the past simple, we usually refer to the time, a specific time. In this case, at the party, right? Number 5, I've already finished. This is present perfect. I haven't finished yet. This is present perfect, but in the negative form, right? Then, who's been eating my chocolates? This is present perfect continuous, right? Here we have the who has is contracted form, right? And who's eaten? Who's eaten my chocolates? This is present perfect as well, right? Who has eaten my chocolates? And the number 7, the president was shot in 1963. That would be the president was shot. This was past, right? And have you heard? The president's been shot. This is present perfect, right? And finally, how long are you here for? This is present. And how long have you been here for? This is present perfect, right? Okay, and with this activity, we're going to finish our lesson, right? This is very, very easy. I want you to help me with this, please. Underline the correct form. His plane took off, or his plane has taken off a few minutes ago. Which one do you think is the correct form? Took off or has taken off?
Took off.
Took off. Yes. What do you think has taken off is not correct here? I'll tell you. Yes, because this is a specific time. When we refer to a specific time, we cannot use the present perfect, right? And minutes ago, it means specific time. When you see the word ago, you should not use present perfect. You have to forget about present perfect. That would be present simple, right? The word ago is related to present to past simple, right? The president has resigned, or the president has been resigned, and a new president has elected or has been elected. All right, which one do you think is correct? The president has resigned or the president has been resigned?
Has resigned.
Has resigned, right. And the second, the president has elected. A new president has elected or has been elected?
Has been elected.
Has been elected. Yes, has been elected. Very good. I've been working in Dubai since last March. Which one do you think is correct? I work or I've been working?
I have been working.
Yes. In this case, when you see the word since, you have to relate since immediately with present perfect or present perfect continuous, right? That's different from ago, which is related to past simple. When did you arrive? When have you arrived? Which one do you think is correct?
Have you?
When did you arrive?
Here we have two differences. All right, we have to think about the specific time, right? When we have to think about the question, right? March. So when did you arrive would be more appropriate, but you know that it depends sometimes where you are, because in the United Kingdom they use this one more than this one, but in America they use this one. So In this case, if we are referring specifically to this word, you have to use this one. Have you arrived? Right? How many emails have you sent, or how many emails have you been sending? Which one do you think is correct?
The second one.
Have you sent?
Yes, yes. Have you sent? Because remember that have you been sent is like you continue doing the same thing, but in this case, is something which which started and continue doing, right? What do you do? What have you been doing in the bathroom? Which one do you think is correct? What did you do in the bathroom, or what have you been doing in the bathroom?
Have you been doing?
Have you
Yeah.
been doing?
Yes, you're right. You've been in there for ages.
You have been in there for ages.
What have you been doing?
Yes. And the last one, the last but not the least, a huge snowstorm has hit or has been hit New York. Which one do you think is the correct?
Has hit.
Has hit.
Has hit.
Has hit. Very good. Thank you very much. And we have to be careful with the pronunciation of this one. Remember that we say hit, hit instead of heat. All right. You did it very well, but just in case you forgot, when we say calor, we say heat, but when we say golpear, hit, hit, heat. Right. Well, with your teacher of phonetics, probably you will study this in detail. I'm going to stop searching. It's been a little bit long for today, a long class for today. And then I will go back. Oh, here, yeah. Oh, have you got any questions? As it is the first lesson, I feel a little bit tired today, and I think that you're feeling tired, a little bit exhausted. But in the future lessons, you will be doing more things, more interesting things, right? Okay. Remember that for today in the afternoon you have to log into Educa, go straight to the diagnostic test, okay, and do the diagnostic test. If you cannot do it today, you have until Friday, right? Do it. It's very important for me to know your level of English. You're not going to receive a mark for that. In case you receive a mark, this is just as a reference, right? But it is very important for me to know your level in order to plan the future lessons, right? And I also will ask you to record a 1-minute presentation about yourselves, because in that way I can know who you are in detail and upload that link. No, you have to upload the recording to YouTube and send me the link, but I will send you that information in detail, right? You will find that information in week number 1. Okay, that's enough for today. It's been a little bit tiring, and I hope you have learned a little bit about the present perfect and the difference between the present perfect and the past simple. This is the main idea. Remember that the past simples is in relation to a specific time in the past, right? And we usually use ago or in 1963 or whatever, right? While the present simple or the present perfect, sorry, refers to an action that started in the past and continues. The action continues until our days, and it is usually in reference to since. Whenever we use since, we have to use the present perfect, right? And on the other hand, we also use the, yeah. Have you got any questions? I heard something. Okay, I think that's enough for today. Sorry for speaking too much, but in the future lessons, I hope you will have the more opportunities to speak and write your questions for the next lesson, right? Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the lessons and the rest of the week, and see you in a week's time. Thank you very much, and take care.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
teacher.
Bye.
Was a pleasure meeting you.
Bye bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you.
Bye. Take care.